getting impacted from all these things, and it's just like a small. Hell. There the hell.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
New resealable packaging keeps Ostermeyer Deli fresh, even deli fresher.
The global phenomenon is back. Welcome to your Batcave.
Adam, what's up? The book is finished being penciled. So me and Chuck are working on the inking stage. So yes, I am doing pinup stages and things like that, basically. So yes, basically you're correct. Every time I get done with one of these things, I'm kind of like, oh, it's over. Even though the goal is like tiring and it's a slog oftentimes to get to the end, and you're like, oh my God, it'll never get over. But then once you get to it and it's kind of done with like the meat of the thing, it's like, oh. Well, and sometimes I'm kind of like, well, now what? Postpartum, right? That's basically it. Well, thanks, Adam. I'm definitely excited to get it all put together and have people get the opportunity to finally get this thing in their hands and laugh at the absolute stupidity and ask me what the hell's wrong with me for creating such an abomination. Angels of the Renaissance, how's it going to you, sir? Adam, it feels like the universe demanded this book be made. Well, I hope everyone else. I mean, in Fantasyland that I live in, I think anybody that's a fan of 90s comics, that kind of era, and whether or not they're actually a hardcore fan of Liefeld right now or used to be, would like it. And even the haters, probably especially the haters, would probably get a kick out of it. I would like to think that it has potential for life. It's just the trick is getting it in front of people's eyes, which is why I, do this. I basically live stream the entire creation of it. And some people have said, well, won't that defeat everyone's going to know what's in it? You're showing them everything. There's no surprise. And I don't agree with that, because you're just getting to see the penciled pages. And if you watch my live streams consistently, you'll hear me talk about what's going to happen. But the dialogue and the way it all kind of comes together when it's done, no one's going to see that until the book is actually finished. So I'm just kind of banking on that. And, that's only a concern with people who follow my channel kind of consistently, is well, you've already watched me create the whole thing, so why would you need to pick it up? But I think people will still be interested. But then the other part is getting it in front of people's eyes in terms of a crowdfunder, and hopefully it can find an audience. So yeah, that's kind of just my thought. I kind of can't help but kind of worry about, is it going to work? Is anybody going to be interested? I've talked about in the last couple live streams, I watched this guy do a crowdfunder who's had professional work through Image back in the day, and he's incredibly talented with incredibly beautiful artwork that everyone would like. And his crowdfunder failed. He didn't even get he maybe got a third of the way into it in 30 days. I'm like, if that guy can't make it, how can I? I think just the difference is that I've got, by the grace of God or Galactus or whoever, a YouTube channel and got an audience of people looking, so I can shout it out that way. And so therefore, hopefully, that gives me a leg up in terms of getting it seen. So it's just kind of nerve-wracking to sit here and make this thing and then be like, no one's going to be interested. It's going to fucking suck. But everyone, Panda, D-Man, Angel, yeah, everyone. How's everyone doing? So yeah, I just get nervous. But who wouldn't be? But like my other buddy, Isaac Bell, his first crowdfunder was a massive success, like $30,000 on a goal of 5? It was either 5 or it was 2, I can't remember. But he built up his audience beforehand. He didn't just make a book and throw it out there into the universe and wonder why no one was looking at it. He had a goal and a strategy that worked by building up his audience and then doing a crowdfunder. And even then, he was still nervous about it. And then it succeeded beyond everything that he ever thought that it would. So I'm just hoping that showcasing the creation of it at the same time keeps people's interest, and then the final book with the words and the inking and everything like that will be of interest to people. And if not, if the crowdfunder fails, I'll just print up copies anyway. I printed up copies of my Master's End, my He-Man fan fiction, just on my own, and I'll just offer them to people by myself individually, and at least the people who follow the channel will. So people will get to see it. It's not gonna, if you want a copy of it, for example, Adam, you will get one, because I will print copies regardless of the failure of a crowdfunder. So it's not like it's not gonna happen if the crowdfunder fails. It just, it'd be nice to have it do really well and make a few dollars to put in my pocket and help fund future stuff. But, I make this stuff because I enjoy it. But, it would be nice to get it seen. Steven, what's up? The words don't show up when you watch it back. Wait, what? Ranning TV, how's it going? But yeah, Adam, so yeah, like I said, it will get, unless I die, for some reason, if I run my car into a telephone pole tomorrow on accident or something, the book will get printed and people will get copies of it. So there's no doubt about that. It's just, like I said, I live in this fantasy land, especially after getting ripped off. Yeah, maybe I can get some success and put a few bucks back into my accounts and I don't feel so stupid. And I'm like, oh, well, that happened, but at least I validated my existence a little bit by creating artwork that people legitimately were actually interested in. We sit here and create, and then I can't imagine anybody who creates stuff like this doesn't at some point look themselves in the mirror and go, am I an idiot? No one's gonna fucking want to see this stupid stuff. Why would anybody want to see my crap? But you just kind of have to like set that aside and just do it. You got to give 110%, and you want it more than they do, and let the chips fall where they may. Something to that effect. And then I'm thinking about adding, I'm trying to think of like, stretch goals. I don't want to make my crowdfunder too complicated at all. I want it to be kind of basic. Yeah, don't accept the doubt. Nobody can be objective about their own work. Yeah, exactly right. But I want to keep the crowdfunder kind of simple, but I thought about maybe offering as a potential like stretch goal of like an original hand-drawn and inked, like me penciled and Chuck inked, commission, something like that. If maybe that would interest people, that would be like a high-tier kind of dollar amount request if it's something somebody was interested in. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things like that. Offering up like a foil cover variant, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm still kind of debating on what would be the best way to go about certain things. But ultimately, I think I want to keep it simple. A crowdfunder. I don't want. I'm going to be weird and be one of these guys who does a crowdfunder, but I don't have like stretch goals where you get a bookmark and a sticker and a coaster to put a cup on. Like that chintzy shit. I've got him from several crowdfunders that I've supported, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. It goes into a drawer or the garbage bin, and it never sees the light of the day. I don't fucking care about any of that. I just want the comic to be awesome. Panda, yeah, absolutely. I've never done one of these before. I've never had anything to show before, besides the He-Man books, but I didn't think I could crowdfund those. Although I do see people do some things like that, kind of. I don't know. I never bothered to try to crowdfund. I did the Master's End stuff purely because I had this insane need to create and make those things and see them done. But yeah, this will be the first time, Panda, that I've ever done one of these things. So it's nerve-wracking. Oh, Steven, you watched last night's stream. So with the live streams, the live chat doesn't upload for like a day or two. You know, you can go into the comments and there's usually a tab you can swipe to the right and see the live chat feed, but it doesn't upload at the same time. So if you ever want to like rewatch a live stream and I did it just the day before, you won't be able to see it. You got to give it a little bit of time. Angel, you're with me on that? Yeah, comics and original art is all I care about. Corey Sims, you just watched my review of Death of Power, and man, yeah, that Death of Power, that guy is crazy. He's incredibly talented, and he makes some of the most entertaining books ever. But man, are they very adult. And that's kind of like what I'm doing. This shit I'm doing is got some very adult content. So, Panda, you really don't know why creators waste money and resources on those little extras. Every bookmark, sticker, keychain I've ever gotten is in a landfill somewhere. Right? See? That's how I feel. Like, it's cute. I'm like, oh, that's neat. But, like, I don't care. And so it becomes this stretch goal. If we just get this far, we'll get stickers. If we get this far, you get a bookmark or a keychain. I'm like, I thought about doing like a special little tchotchke thing. I'm going to go out and find some little tiny plastic, clear plastic jars with a screw-on lid, little small ones. And then I'm sure online I could find little tiny plastic dicks. And I'll fill them with water and then put the dicks in it and seal the lid on. And I could mail out little dicks in jars. I'm totally joking about doing that for real, but I did legitimately think about that. Corey Sims, you got to take off. Thank you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Randy, you say you think about that too. What rewards would I give people that contribute to my crowd fund? And how not to outprice myself? Right. Right. That's me. Like, I just want you to have the book, but then I also wonder, I'm like, and I also want to keep the price point of the comic as low as possible to make it not ridiculous. Like the Death of Power guy, his books, he only charges $10 per book, and then just the shipping, and that's it. And that's really affordable. I mean, these people that want like $20 or $30 for their book, and it's just a standard size comic, I'm kind of like, that's a lot of money for a book. So I want to keep the book at a 10, maybe 15 at most, you know. But then I wonder if people price their books so high because they're trying to make more money, you know. You can move fewer books but get more money. And so if I'm an unknown and I don't move that many books and I also keep them at a low price, I'm not going to make any money. And honestly, that's okay. I'm not doing this thinking I'm going to suddenly make a living off that. That's not the point. It would just be nice, you know. But it's just enough to, like, it's basically, I just want to make enough. I need to know how many people want copies and then get the money for it so I can print copies. And then just kind of build an audience from there. Panda, you'd actually rather the creators just keep the remaining money and put it towards their next issue instead of doing a run of acrylic standees. I mean, that's, you know, I agree. I completely agree. Big Bandolero, you don't get that level of pricing either. Yeah, it's, you know, I've paid for a few crowdfunders and the books were kind of fine. But here's the thing. Here's also the thing. Is like, I've seen some books, and I picked them up because the cover looked really good, and a couple of them, once or twice, were like this scandalous, like sexy babe, and you can get like a nude variant. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of interested in the book. I'm not too proud to be like, I don't want the nude variant. I do, because the artwork was so good. I'll get the nude female figure variant one, but then the comic on the inside is not the guy who did the cover, and it's just kind of okay, you know? But so it's just, it was kind of a letdown a little bit, and then the book itself was kind of okay. So, you know, no one's hitting me up asking me to do like, hey, you want to do a variant cover? And I don't have any money to pay anybody. I do have one variant cover locked down from one of my homies from the channel, and it's going to look awesome, but I don't know. The variant cover option, I've seen a lot of crowdfunders where they're like, there's 15 variant covers, foil editions, nude versions, all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, should I do that too, to if people are interested? Should I offer it? I'm kind of stuck, as you can kind of tell. I'm going back and forth with what should I do? Because again, this book is very R-rated. So there's already sexuality in it. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm above that kind of thing. I'm not. If you know me, I like the ladies, and I like drawing the ladies, and I like sexuality, but I'm not interested in making disgusting porn. But some dirty R-rated, etc., is kind of fun. And yeah, it is a marketing gimmick, but it works. I mean, people don't have to buy something they don't want. So why not? I don't know. Hey, what's up? I think 25 to 30 is reasonable for independent comics. I really think you can number and sign each book for an incentive for the high-priced issues. Make a limited print run, 250 issues. I'm not sure about the limited print run idea, in as much as I'm trying to remember what professional creator was talking about this sometime, where they're like, I don't like the idea of a limited print run to try to drive sales, because I would think in my mind, I want to have as many copies as possible I want to have as many readers as possible. And I would hate the idea that somebody wants to read my book and they can't get it because I only printed up so many and I'm not going to print it again. You know, I want people to be able to get it. I want as many people as possible to get that. I remember some professional creator saying something to that effect, like, why would I ever have it out of print? I want it in people's hands. So, you know, that's I guess that's part of the reason for the crowdfunder, is to like, what's the interest, and like let me know, because I have to obviously have enough money to, I guess Kickstarter or whatever will take their cut, and then there's going to be like taxes on everything, so you have to factor in that part of it. So that keeps driving up the price before you get to the point where like, this is the money I can use to fund to print the actual book itself. So I got to price out what it's going to cost just to print up the basic comic itself. Angels, you think that you would make the variant covers into posters? That's not a bad idea. Like, I've kind of thought about that for like this thing I'm doing here. I could pay to get this thing colored up. Shockula, you want a foul cover? Foil. Steven, no one likes porn. Porn is bad. Nate, what's up? Panda. So yeah, Dan Ikis, who disappeared off YouTube, did a comic called Soul of the World that had a very limited print run. I found out about it late, wanted it, and couldn't figure out how to get it. Yeah, and see, that's what I don't want to do. That's exactly what I want to avoid. I want people to be like, I've heard about this ridiculous bullshit comic this guy made where there's a dick in a jar. I want it, and I want them to be able to get it. A cover like Cybernary in this climate would break the bank. What do you mean a cover like Cybernary? What do you mean, Ran Inc.? I'm not sure I follow. I'm trying to remember the cover to Cybernary. I don't know if I do. Be like Ralph Bakshi into a Cool World level of provocative comic. But how's it going, Nate? Steven, it kept us hardcore. Nate, you're my spirit animal, sir. We think alike. That's awesome. Yeah, I liked kind of the artistry in Cool World, but by God, is that movie hard to get through. There's some funny, interesting stuff, but it's just like a fever dream of insanity. There was one really good song on it. It's like, I think like the opening credit pop song called Play With Me. I actually really like that song. See, Steven, yeah, that version of that show I want to see. And the thing with Cool World is like that the opening of it with just like Brad Pitt back in like the 30s or whatever it was, when he was just like a human dude, and he comes home from war, and like it starts out like a real movie, and I was kind of interested. And then the instant he's like taking his mom for a ride on a motorcycle, gets smashed into by a car, and she dies, and then he gets like picked up by a cartoon and taken to the fucking Cool World. Suddenly the movie was stupid. But there's parts in it that are interesting, but overall, I mean, it's tonally out of its mind. You got me thinking about that song. I want to hear it. Can you imagine, what's that actor's name, Gabriel Byrne, like filming the scene where he's fucking a cartoon?
¡Ey! ¿Quién tiene hambre? Algo dulce. Huevos con chorizo.
Los dos, por favor.
this is like the opening credit music to the song, I think. This is like opening credits to the movie. It's the Thompson twins. Orbital Hub, hey, what's up? Was I the one that said that Gargoyles was mature, ahead of its time series? Nothing quite like it. I mean, it's still a Disney cartoon, but it's a very, very well done. Like adults could watch it and not be embarrassed, kind of like watching He-Man or original Generation 1 Transformers. It's really well written, and I think it was ahead of its time personally. So Hub, give Gargoyles a shot, seriously. I couldn't imagine anybody who's like a comic fan that wouldn't enjoy it. It's got really good storytelling and drama, and it's really worth it. Yeah, I definitely, yeah. Dark Omancer says, you're an exceptional artist, coming from a fellow artist. I'm glad you weren't all talk. Well, thank you. I try to do the best I can. So thank you. Appreciate you saying that. I really do. I'm doing my best. For better or worse, it's what I can do. Yeah, well, Orbital Hub, I mean, there are characters, there's death, but it's been a long time since I've watched, but you do get introduced to, like, the main cast, and the main cast basically sticks around, but, yeah, I think it's the first 5 episodes are, like, the opening story. It's like a big, long movie. You get introduced to the backstory, where they come from, where they end up, who they all are. It's very worth it. If you like comics and like dramatic action adventure stuff, Gargoyles is absolutely the way to go, especially if you want to see something that you've never seen before. Everyone says, go watch Batman the Animated Series. Sure, of course, but we've seen Batman a million billion times. Gargoyles is like something new. I mean, at the time, obviously. There was nothing like it, so it definitely deserves a look. Speaking of, one of the greatest intro tunes to any animated series ever, is that Gargoyles theme that we just heard me blast in there. So great. Yeah, you guys know what's up with this music. Speaking of stuff that's made for kids but was like kind of dark, but man, did I gravitate to that stuff as a kid. I love the dark stuff. I'm not interested in like horror and bloody dismemberment necessarily, but like stuff that's made for kids but shows us some dark stuff that we, it affects us. I'm all about that stuff. Yeah, Panda. Yeah, the Legend. It's like a dark fairy tale. Me and you guys know Ginger Bear, who drops in here from time to time. He's talked about how that's one of his favorite movies ever, and so we got into a long discussion about why it's so damn good, even though it's so weird. Yeah, I mean, darkness. You gotta have darkness to keep it real. Yeah, I love stuff like that. Yeah, you guys are, yeah, so Legends, the movie Legends got it. Dark Crystal's got it. Secret of Nim, so creepy. And as a kid, like, you grow up watching Disney shit, which is fine. The old school Disney shit was perfectly fine, but then you watch the Secret of Nim, and you're like, holy shit, this is scary. And fuck Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, Steven, I know, that's Robert Picardo. Yeah, definitely. I knew that one. Yeah, the Skeksis. And Mia Sara, yeah. Which is crazy, she was like 17 at the time when they made that. I'm like, oh, all right. She was just a kid, understood. But Tim Curry as that darkness creature was just unbelievable. Blix, are you not the most loathsome of my goblins? Truly, master, your heart is dark. What's up, Mr. Green? Truly, master. I never knew that was a female actress playing Blix. I didn't read that as a female when I was a kid, but when I'm older, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that. I don't know if the character's supposed to be a female, but the actor certainly was, once you're kind of paying attention. Darker than night, darker than pitch, darker than the foulest witch. Yep. And I like those other two goofballs that were with Blix, especially the one with the giant ridiculous helmet. He calls the unicorns ugly one-horned mules, which has been one of my favorite ways to refer to unicorns ever since. Ugly one-horned mules, like these godlike beings, these magical horses, and these idiots are like, it's a mule. Oh, so Blix was supposed to be a male? I didn't know. But once you watch it and see kind of the physical body of the actor, you're like, all right, I can see that's a woman under there, but. And of course, you can't beat all that makeup costuming on Tim Curry. And every scene, every line with Tim Curry's The Darkness is like riveting. How like you my gifts? Does the dress not please you? Eat. Drink. I do nothing for your pleasure. All I wish is for you to sit here and talk with me. It's funny how she kept fucking with them. She'd like, scream at him like, never, never, I do nothing for your pleasure. And then she'll suddenly flip around and be like, grant your bride one wish. He's like, anything you have but to ask. It was like an abusive relationship from the moment they met. Some simple conversation. Beneath the flesh, we are already one. Yeah, it's just all so great. I was telling my buddy when I used to watch that movie as a kid, Legend. I swear to God, I thought that the Darkness character was like a giant, like 20 feet tall. Now he was probably 10 feet tall, but I felt like he was a giant because every shot was like low angle looking up at him. And then as I got older and I was paying attention to different things, I noticed, I'm like, oh no, he's not, he's big, but I thought he was like a giant, like as tall as a house. Yeah, she was tempted. I thought the dancing dress, I wonder if the concept was supposed to be, and they just didn't have the technology to do it, but it was literally supposed to only be a dress. Like, if you could imagine what they could do with special effects now, just have the dress itself, the cloth, the material, dancing, but they obviously had, like, a human being in black tights in it. I'm not saying it doesn't work, it does, but I just keep thinking of that scene with just having the dress itself dancing, and then suddenly they flash and they're together. Yeah, they made it look like a mannequin is in it. Yeah. And again, that's another thing I didn't understand as a kid. I just kind of like watched it for what it was, and then you kind of start understanding things as you get older, and like, oh, it's just supposed to be the cloth material dancing around. And they just couldn't do it, and that's okay, it's understandable, but they did the best they could do with everything they had, and it was pretty damn good. And it's got such an oddball feel about it. The storytelling is weird. The transitions to scenes, it feels like a weird dream state kind of fairy tale thing. It doesn't abide by kind of normal storytelling, and that's one of the things I like about it. It's just so unconventional. No one would dare to make a movie like that now. Of course, they're probably like, we shouldn't have made it then because it bombed. Finds its audience later. Yeah, she was fit. I thought she was 17, but obviously I knew she was like underage. But she was charming and fun, and I've always maintained that she portrayed one of like the coolest girlfriends ever in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She was awesome. I was, as a kid, I don't know who this girl is, but she's like kind of perfect. Panda, I agree, dude. Sometimes you think the older practical effects make things look more alluring and creepy because of the clunkiness. I agree. And I also like, because they couldn't do certain things, they had to get really creative trying to find a way to portray what they want to do, as opposed to like, we don't know how we're going to do this, but just whatever, we'll have the CGI guys do it later. And then it just becomes soulless. It's like there's no amount of CGI that would ever make Yoda in Empire Strikes Back better. They did it flawlessly, exactly as it needed to be. And there's no amount of CGI that would make Yoda any better in Empire Strikes Back, for example. Because they we can only do so much. So we have to choose our shots. We got to make sure the story's good. And get the premier special effects puppeteers of the day. It was Jim Henson, right? And but limitations forced creativity. I think that's part of why the original Star Trek TV show was so popular and it worked. It had god-awful special effects, but they had to write interesting stories to make it work, and it did. It's literally the exact opposite these days with Star Trek, where they just oh, look at all these movie-level special effects. It's all garbage. Meg Mucklebones look better than any haunted horror CGI movie monster. Yeah. I have to admit, Hub, I've never watched Babylon 5, and I kind of don't care to, just because it's never interested me. I've heard nothing but good things, so I'm not saying it's not any good, but when it was on in its prime, it was like Deep Space Nine was on at the same thing, and Deep Space Nine became my Star Trek jam of all time, and so I just never bothered to branch out, and that's on me, but I understand Babylon 5 is supposed to be fantastic, but never seen it, and I don't care to even give it a shot at this point in my life. I don't care. Steven, could we please discuss this? Which part ruined you? That Mia Sara was only 15? Yeah. She was just, I mean, but the thing is she was young, but she didn't come across like a child. You know, and as a kid, I didn't see her as like a teenager. I just saw her as a young woman. But sometimes you can't tell. But then you're like, oh yeah, that was just a child. But she was charming and it just worked, you know. So credit where credit's due on all of that. Steve needs to take a breather while he processes the fact that young 80s crush is a little bit younger than we wanted to acknowledge that she was. And I agree. It's like, oh. Kind of like Jennifer Connelly. I don't remember what her first roles were, but she was really young when she got started. But at the time, there was no one more beautiful on the planet than Jennifer Connelly. Like in The Rocketeer. Good Lord Almighty. Drops Legend into the trash. Yeah, in the Dark Ages, 15 was the Middle Ages. You're true. That's right. See? The girl from Gremlins, that was what the fuck is her name? Oh my god. Everyone knows the actress, but I can't think of what her name was. She was a good actress, but she wasn't exactly like hot. She wasn't Jennifer Connelly level. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Labyrinth. Like, it's okay to me, but once The Rocketeer came along, and then she was in that terrible movie Career Opportunities, that just stopped us all in our tracks. OG Battlestar is kind of chintzy and charming in its own way, especially if you grew up with it. The reimagined Battlestar Galactica with Edward James Olmos is like maybe the best science fiction series ever made. And I will make that battle to the end of my days. It blew the original out of the water by about 1,000,000 miles. Yeah, Steven, yeah, the Goblin King. But to be fair, he's basically Satan, so he does all kinds of fucked up shit. So, I guess in a way, it's not okay, but at least we get it. Virginia Madsen in Dune. She had such a microscopic role. It's kind of hard to even count that she was even in that one. She was in the theatrical release version where she kind of gave backstory, and then she was just in the background in a couple of scenes. I can't make sense of your name. Leon? I have stepped foot upon this live stream. Well, thank you for checking in and seeing how it's going, sir. Or ma'am, whatever the case may be. Sorry, apologize. Can't tell by the name, but Addie, oh, all right. See, Addie, I didn't know that. I do apologize if we said anything that was out of place. I apologize. See, I don't know shit. I'm sitting here just trying to draw my thing. Well, both of you, Addie and Leona. Yeah, both. Orbital Hub. Finally, someone who remembers Space Above and Beyond. It had some fucking horrible, god-awful CGI in like the first couple of episodes, but they kind of got their shit together as it went on. But that was a really good show. I think so, Steven. Yeah, they had certain humans that were like test tube babies. They had little scars on their necks. They called them tanks, I think, like they were grown in a tank.
Or the Toltecs, or the Mayans.
Yeah, Darkomancer, that actress from Life Force. Good lord.
Who even now fight to survive somewhere beyond the heavens.
Have I heard of Asteria the singer? I have not. Yeah, Steven, the Space Above and Beyond, and it ended on a hardcore, like, cliffhanger, if I remember. Like, everything was, like, in a really bad place. And we never got resolution. And if I remember correctly, I remember being kind of worried because I kept reading how Space Above and Beyond and Deep Space Nine, the Star Trek show, were on at the same time. And Space Above and Beyond was getting better ratings. But then it got canceled. And I'm like, well, they're going to cancel Deep Space Nine too. How could they not cancel it if this other show that's getting better ratings, that show gets killed? The one that I'm loving is going to get killed. But no, Deep Space Nine went on for 7 seasons and is, to my opinion, the best Star Trek show. Bob soon transforms into a little goofy, looking being and joins the Asteria Bean Army and takes over the world, and the first target is Steven. There we go. That's what's going to happen.
Michael has a 97% customer satisfaction rate.
Wow. Our cats just love great customer service.
Customer service.
Right. Don't get disrespectful.
What up, commercials? Let's see. Ginger! You just missed us talking about Legend all over again. It just kind of come up through conversation about movies and science fiction and fantasy, and then I was listening to the music and we were talking about the special effects and the actors and all the stuff you would have been part of if you didn't just have terrible timing. No, this is just a pin-up for the book. I haven't decided on a cover yet. I'm still trying to decide how I want to do that. Stephen has been having a struggle with the fact that that Mia Sarah was only 15 at the time. He's been struggling with it for the last, half hour. He's like, no! How can that be? Oh, man. It's hilarious. It's the first thing he dropped. Did you know? Oh, that was great. Ginger, she got done with the story page, so now it's all carnage, blood and guts for the next 20 pages. For a minute, I thought you were saying you were done with the book. I'm like, holy shit, dude. You blasted through that. I'm impressed. But no, so now you just get to do the fun, like the really fun stuff. And that's awesome, dude. Right, yeah, see? But like we were saying, it's like she didn't come across as a kid, but again, when we were watching it as kids, you know, she was older than us, and so she was kind of like a grown-up, and she didn't portray like a child. You know, she was like a princess. And I don't know, it doesn't come across like she was like a kid. So it all kind of makes sense until you suddenly go, oh, the actress was how old? Okay. Never mind. Yeah, when she was in that dress, it was suddenly all the makeup and that dress design with the like open front all the way down. Yeah, Ginger. I know, dude. But again, we were kids. When was that movie made? I mean, it's like in 84 and 83, right? So I was born in 77. So I was like, what? You know, 6, 7, 8 years old, depending on when it comes out. God, I want to start inking this thing like immediately, but I want to scan it first. Good Lord, that's not any better. No, it's not. Remember when she was in Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme? I think of that as one of Van Damme's like mid-tier movies. When I think of movies with Van Damme that I want to watch, it's like Bloodsport. I actually really like oh my God, what's that one where he plays like a Creole? It's a John Woo movie. It's basically, if you think about it, he's just Gambit from the X-Men in that movie. What the fuck is the name of that movie? Hard Target. Right. I thought Hard Target was actually really good. But for real, the character's name is Chance Boudreaux. What's Gambit's name? Remy LeBeau. He's like Cajun. He's got long hair. He's got a trench coat. He's a badass fighter. It's just fucking Gambit from the X-Men. But yeah, I found that movie, Hard Target, to be pretty damn entertaining. Cyborg was hilarious. Cyborg was silly, but fun. Universal Soldier was good. Why do I feel like I'm missing like one of the peak Van Damme movies? I think of Bloodsport. But yeah, I like Hard Target. I like Time Cop. What am I missing? I feel like there's another like major one. Kickboxer was cool, but I didn't gravitate towards that one because I'm like, well, it's not as good as Bloodsport, so suck it, Kickboxer. Street Fighter is awful, but it's kind of fun to watch just to watch a giant god-awful train wreck. It's like, how wrong could we get every character in this movie? Let's see. I feel like I seem to remember, I think Van Damme's first movie, whatever that movie was, he played like a martial arts henchman. He was introduced wearing an all-white suit. He was like the bodyguard of this bad guy. I don't think he had actually any speaking lines in it, but man, did he have a presence. Like, he looked really intimidating. Whatever that movie was. Of life. Fight to survive. Night and day. Of life. Kumite, 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 kumite. Was anybody else like super scared as a kid? Not scared, but like found what's the, oh my god, the name of the bad guy in Bloodsport, the actor Bolo Young, but what was the character's name? But I found that guy to be intimidating as hell. Chong Li. Yeah, Bolo Young was intimidating as hell with his like facial expressions and his body language. I think if you rewatch it, paying attention to how well of a martial artist he is, he's not. But he scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like, this guy is frightening as hell. Yeah, Bolo Young, I believe his career was like, he was a bodybuilder. That's why he was so big. I don't know that he was a particularly great actor, but he didn't need to be. He just needed to look intimidating and snap guys' bones out of their legs, like they were saying earlier. Chong Li's left pec is bigger than my torso. And then we had somebody else dub over his line. He's like, what did he say? Board? No, not. Brick not hit back. Which is like a play on, I think, that Bruce Lee line. Board don't hit back. Yeah, he was in Enter the Dragon. Like, he goes back a long time. That was crazy. I think he was like, what is he, in his 30s? Had to be for, yeah, Ginger. That's the other line. You are next. You are next.
When emergencies Right, solutions farmers rely on the latest technology. That's why T-Mobile created T-Priority, built for the 5G era.
Yeah, Ginger, he put effort into the accent. I liked him as Gambit too. I'm in the minority where I have to say I hate Gambit's costume. It looks so stupid. Yes, they made it exactly film accurate, to the comic, but Gambit's costume looks so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But they got it right, and Channing Tatum was good. I like Channing Tatum a lot, actually. He seems like he's a funny guy, and I think he can act. After the 21 Jump Street movies, I was like, well, I don't care what he does from here on out. I'm a fan, because that shit was fucking great. Like the weird boot things, and then like the shiny body armor with the weird abstracty art thing just under his chin, like on his pack. It looks so stupid. Oh god, Gambit's is worse. I don't get like, if you look at all the other X-Men costumes, they all kind of make sense why they have them, or at least where they come from. Where does Gambit's outfit come from? Why would he choose to put on this ridiculous outfit that doesn't make any sense? He should just be in like jeans and a t-shirt, cowboy boots, and then a trench coat and a bandana. Yeah, Ginger is just random stuff that Jim and Wilson enjoyed drawing. Grifter as Wildcat's Gambit. Kind of. But yeah, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Jim Lee cannot design anything that's awesome. I don't think he's had one costume design that ever has been iconic or awesome. Some people want to say Omega Red. Bullshit. Omega Red looks stupid. He's a dumb character and he's got a dumb costume. I think the closest thing that I can think of that someone else pointed out to me when I was challenging them and saying that Jim Lee's never created a costume design that looks good, they suggested Psylocke, like Asian Ninja Psylocke, and if he created that design, then okay, he's got one minor win. But beyond that, I don't think anything he's created. Spartan looks stupid, Maul is stupid, Zealot looks stupid, stupid Voodoo looks dumb. Like, all their designs are terrible. Yes, see, Gingerberry, we're yeah. Yes. Like, love his art, appreciate him, but as far as, like, character designs, like, yeah. See, Dark Omancer, this is a conversation we were having. You mentioned, like, 90s Cyclops. Jim Lee cannot take credit for that because it's just the classic outfit that Cyclops had been wearing, like the traditional classic blue outfit with yellow boots and gloves. The only thing Jim added to it was a strap across his chest, and then he opened up the top to have his hair out. That's an alteration, but it's a variation on an iconic design. So I don't give him that win. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, and he made it look awesome. I mean, no one draws it cooler than him, in my opinion. But it wasn't, you know, his design. Archangel looks kind of cool, but that was someone else. I think that was didn't Walter Simonson design Archangel's outfit? Jean Grey's fucking X-Men #1 costume design is like the worst. Jean Grey's had the best costumes and the worst, and the best being Phoenix. It's like perfect costume design, flawless in every way. But her Marvel Girl shit, her X Factor shit, the Jim Lee X-Men thing, it looks stupid. Yeah, Ginger Bear, Jim can do on-model type stuff, but all new designs, yeah. But yeah, Jean Grey was just a shame because, again, perfect costume design, but you can't keep her in it if she doesn't have the Phoenix power, so what do? You create this stupid-ass outfit. Beast, you know, he's just the same guy. He just wears blue underwear, so, you know, nothing there. Wolverine started out in X-Men, you know, the Jim Lee era with the brown and tan costume, the perfect version. That's John Byrne. Yeah, and so what else? What else is there? As far as the X-Men, that's it. And then you move over to Wildcats, and like I was saying, there's some of the Wildcats characters I think have potential as characters, but as far as their looks, Spartan is stupid. Grifter's kind of like Gambit, just overdone design with the trench coat. The mask, I guess, is okay. Warblade sucks. Maul sucks. Voodoo is just in a stripper costume, literally. Void is kind of okay, but it's just a silver naked female body, so it's okay. Hub, that's a good question. That outfit that Rogue wore, it's kind of fine. I like her in that jacket that Jim Lee would put her in. That's kind of cute. That maybe that's another kind of slight win, is Rogue in that outfit. So maybe Rogue and then Psylocke. You'd think Voodoo in a stripper outfit would be a win, but it's not. It's like those big fluffy boots and but the thing is, they had her running around in the stripper outfit for several issues before somebody finally redesigned her. Happy Sponge. All right, I'll give you that one. Savage Land Rogue. All right. She's wearing tattered, ripped up clothes showing most of her skin. I will jump on board with that one all day. Yeah, see, Ginger Bear knows what's up. We're on board for that shit. See, Dark Romancer, I don't get Warblade's costume. What are those pipes on his chest? And what are the pipes connecting from his hands to his back? It has nothing to do with his powers. And he manifests those things. So they literally are just there because Jim Lee thought it looked cool. And again, if somebody likes it just because it looks cool, that's fine. But to me, these costumes need to have some sort of functionality to this shit that's hanging off him. And it's not like they were power cables because he's a robot. They're just cables attached from his hands to his back. So I don't get it. And then Maul is stupid, and those giant horns on his back are just like the dumbest thing. Ginger Bear. I like all the ladies' costumes for Inferno by Silvestri. Torn and scantily clad. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. 100% right, dude. Yeah, and why does frickin' Warblade have green hair? Like he's Korean. His name's Reno Bryce. Just, Inferno Storm was hot? Yes. Rogue becoming Magneto's woman in the Savage Land? Yes. Ha! 14% of all Koreans are born with green hair. You're like, you should learn up on your genetics on other cultures, Rob, before you're so insensitive. That was funny, man. I swear, Dark Romancer, I promise I'm not trying to be contrarian to you. I hate all the Wildcats characters as far as their looks. Good guys and bad. Hellspawn did not look cool. Yeah, he had like a flaming alien skull face. Sure. Void, you're thinking of, Steven? But if you look at his outfit, what is it? It's just like all the other Image bad guys. Like every book had like some ultimate supreme bad guy, and they all had like capes and spikes and pipes and shiny metal, and they stood there flexing with their claws and projecting energy. I don't, but if Hellspawn would have been an interesting character, I would have been more interested in the design. But he just showed up and he talked standard bullshit bad guy shit, and he jumps down a giant flaming pit in the end, I think. Or maybe it was that other little character. Either way, Hellspawn did nothing. So, I don't know. They're all just so... Yeah, no, I get it. And, I was a little older you know, I was in my early teenage years with them when I was kind of introduced to them, and I thought they were kind of cool at the time. I'm just talking about grown-ass me looking at them. Yeah, Void was kind of okay, but it's just basically Silver Naked Girl, and Jim Lee drawing Silver Naked Girl is always like a boner-inducing time, so that's fine. It's true, Hub. It's very true. The soundtrack. Where does this rank in Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie library? What's his best movie? For me, it's definitely Terminator 2, but his second best movie might be Predator for sure, I think. You like Total Recall? That one was a lot of fun for sure. Yeah, Steven, you're talking about Hellspawn. Yeah, he was like tiger stripe, splash of green and yellow, purple and black. Yeah, it was just the worst. You know what? I'll put up, not as his best, obviously, but one of his best, Schwarzenegger's movies. Seriously, I'll put Twins up there. It showed that he could be something other than a giant meathead action star. He was actually kind of charming and fun. Kind of like in True Lies, where he could play like a different role. Yeah. I would put Twins up there as one of Schwarzenegger's best movies, seriously. Like, not joking. It was because it was a good movie, too. Like, the premise was fun. The direction was fun. He still got to be awesome. You know, he had moments where he got to kind of do a little bit of tough guy stuff, but... And him and Danny DeVito had chemistry. Like, it worked. What's up, Rukasu? Yeah, I'm actually sitting here just kind of fiddling with this drawing. I'm basically done with it. Wishing I could start inking it, but I have to scan it before I ink it. I think I've taken it as far as I'm going to. Kind of like this skull-faced dreadlock thing up here in the corner. I don't know why. Yeah, that's the thing. An artist is never truly done. Yeah, that's sometimes you need to just put a drawing aside. Just, you're done. Put it away. Just, I'm done. I'm over. So, roll call of characters. At the top here, we have Dollface. Up here, we have War Rock. This is Bo Bitch. This guy is Maximum Extreme. This is Kill Snap. This is Red Coyote. And these guys down here, they're called the Norsemen, but they're ninjas. So when I say Norse, it's Norse. It means ninjas of ridiculous sizes everywhere. I'm not kidding. Because the ninjas are either 1 foot tall or 20 foot tall. They're like little tiny guys or giant monsters, because I wanted this stupid idea of microscopic ninjas or like house-sized ninjas, because it's just stupid. So they're the Norsemen, Norse. And yes, it's a play on the ROUSs, rodents of unusual size. But, hey, this whole thing is supposed to be stupid. Rukas, yeah, I'm glad you remember the skull with the little human head. Yeah, I haven't actually drawn the details on the little human head. It's supposed to be the opposite of Battlestone, where Liefeld's character had the human head with a little skull at the top. Well, this guy is a skull with a little human head at the top. Gingerbread, yeah, I saw you talking about that, dude. Your favorite thing is to strategically troll. You were saying that you went into whatever group chat, you know, what is it, Facebook, and you're mentioning how much you love John Romita Jr.'s artwork or something like that, just knowing that he's been shitting on it recently. Absolutely genius, man. Yeah, Liefeld did create a character named Troll. I need to create a version of my own version of Troll in my Liefeld parody book, just so I can have somebody just violently fuck him to death or something. I don't know. It needs to be disgusting and permanent. Yeah, he hates JR so much. You were praising JR, calling him a master. He's such a dick, he resorted to posting art so his group can talk shit about the art. Yeah, as if he's one to talk. Yeah, it's... Ginger Bear, this is probably a dumb question. You're not going to the San Diego Comic Convention by any chance, are you? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had fun with this. I had a lot more fun with it than I thought that I would. It just kind of started out as like a joke, just like something to doodle. But, yeah, it kind of... I was just asking Ginger Bear if you happen to be going to the San Diego Comic Con. I mean, I don't think you are, but I thought I'd check. I'm looking for anybody who's going to pick up a Rob Liefeld comic exclusive at the place, because he's not offering it anywhere else, and I want this fucking thing. But yeah, this page that I've done here, this is also, I mean, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but it's supposed to be an homage to this pinup that Jim Lee did in the back of the X-Men #1s. That's kind of where I got the whole idea from. So that's what this is. Yeah, see, it's things to come. You got stupid Omega Red. But yeah, that's where all that kind of came from. So if it looks good, it's because Jim Lee did it first, and I'm just sucking his Jim dick. See, I missed Gambit, or rather Gambit. I missed Longshot. He was kind of out of the books by the time I was reading X-Men, so I don't have really any affinity for him. But man, I understand people were into him. I mean, that's what it seems. Only Silvestri and Claremont made Dazzler cool. Yeah. Considering the nature of my stupid book here and the severed dick and everything, down here where it says things to come, I should probably draw the little tip of a dick and a little bit of ejaculate. Just because the whole book is a 12-year-old's stupid joke. Things to come. Anybody want to see a preview of Chuck Gibson's inks? It's kind of not a high resolution. Just draw drops on the page. Maybe the border should just be white fluid. Anyway. This is Chuck's in progress inks to me. And man, he's killing it. Find a yeah, there's Chuck's digital inks, furry and texture, and man, it's just looking really cool. It's even got the you eat the dick, which of course you have to. And he's told me, he said, Robin, of all the times I've been inking anything for anybody ever, I've never had to ink somebody's dick. I'm like, you're welcome, sir. He's like, thank you very much. Steven, you want me to pull back up that inked stuff? Which one? This one? I was planning on it, Ginger. Yeah, I mean, Chuck's got all the pages to do. I'm not trying to throw more stuff at him, unless he, like, for some reason specifically, like, wants to. Let's see. God damn it. There we go. Oh no, I know, he did. It's busting. Let's see, where is it? One of the first things he did, I know it's here somewhere, hold on, I gotta. I don't know. Oh, maybe here. Oh yeah, here we go. See, on that page, that guy, that shot we just showed where he's jumping through the air and his dick is jizzing. Well, Chuck, he really went to town on the little panel that I drew where it got cut off. I mean, look, he gave it like meaty texture and everything. Oh man, that's just. And then another thing he did, let's see. So many conversations we're always having about stuff. Me, Chuck, and Ginger, we're always chatting about funny, dumb shit. Oh yeah, there's this top panel where the guy, before he does that jumping shot, and he's got his dick hanging out, and Chuck's like, I drew his dick jizzing, so it draws attention to it. We don't have to have it there if you don't want it. And I'm like, I think I might want it. Just like, oh man, he's getting into the spirit of things. But again, I'm sure he's like, I've never had to draw shit like this before, Rob. What the hell? Orbital, I've got a close-up now of the face. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't wait for this thing to be done and get to read it and see all everything in its glorious kind of final form, and share it with everybody, because you know, Chuck's bringing it. It's another reason I'd like to have a crowdfunder do well, so I can make sure he gets kind of an appropriate, you know, make his time and efforts worth it. But yeah, I redesigned Kill Snap. Well, once he gets his mutilated body picked up and put back together, he's not having things strapped on his arms. He's actually got new versions of it just inside his arms there, yeah. Corey, it's only 1:45 where I'm at, and on weekends where I don't have my kids and I don't have to go to work, I want to stay up late and draw or play video games or do any damn thing as late as I can, because I don't get to do that during the week. God, I just keep sitting here looking at all the lines and textures he threw into this thing, and I really love the way that Chuck did this part here with like the line work to give it like a gradient uplighting on her little corset thing. I like the way he did the hands. He was telling me he kind of had fun inking this robot, and he was kind of bummed out because he's instantly destroyed. Because I did not want to draw that fucking robot anymore. Yeah, it could almost be a cover too, right? I mean, hey, some artists do that. I've seen some books where an interior page is actually a cover, you know? Maybe if it does well and it goes back to second or third printings or some bullshit, you know, this would be like the second or third printing cover or something. Get it colored. I have a colorist. I should actually pay him to color this thing up. Like I've shown, God, where is it? It fell down? I've got a couple of pages from my He-Man fan comic that I had somebody color up just because I wanted to see it. I should actually have somebody color this thing. But then the problem is I have to sit down and think about what I want the colors to be. I've never given a single thought as to what Kill Snap's color scheme would be. I have not a clue. The reverse of plot armor, too damn Yeah, I didn't want to draw this fucking robot because I designed the robot kind of on the page, and I don't love it. Because he only needed to be here for 2 panels. You know, he's here, and then in the next shot he gets vaporized, so it's just done. Kill Snap should be purple and yellow. Just kidding. I was looking at it going, should it? I don't know. Because again, he is supposed to be kind of a Wolverine thing. Like, obviously. I don't know. I'll worry about that at another time. But then I'd have to think about what would I want the robot to be like. And then the girl here. Now I want to look at the other inked pages. Ugh. Girl is pink and the robot is a puke brownish green. Emphasis on puke and brownish green. But yeah, see, this page is what follows the splash page. It goes from here, like the bad guys show up and they talk tough, and then Dickless Ninja, he's like, fuck these guys, I have a dick to track down, blow them away. And he's like, say no more. And then boom. Again, I wanted that robot out of there. In fact, all 3 of these characters need to vanish really fast because, you know, this was in the Liefeld book. This is part of it. And they showed up, and Liefeld's book went on for like 10 pages, them fighting. I'm like, no, this is over in like 2 pages, at least for the robot. Yeah, Hub, everything is digital. Chuck Chuck does do some hand, he's doing some more traditional, you know, analog stuff, but all of this is digital. That's his primary gig. So there's a bunch of digital zips all through there. The gray tone on the Ninja there. Yeah. But yeah, I think Chuck was like, damn it, Rob, I kind of like drawing that robot. And you blew him away immediately. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Fuck that robot. I don't want to draw it. Plus, he's got no place in the story. There's nothing for him to do, so. But the girl, if I do future issues, the girl and Killsnap have very prominent roles. In fact, the girl, spoiler, she's actually she's kind of gonna be kind of like a, not a good guy, because none of these are good guys, but she's going to kind of join up with our Maximum Extreme guy, the Cable clone. They're going to kind of run into each other and kind of team up. Shit. Just keep staring at these inks. How about this page? I just love the way Chuck inked this arm. Hell, I like all of it. I like the head on Nicholas Ninja here. I think that looks really good. He really nailed that. The crazy thing is once Chuck gets all these pages inked, I'm going to go in and print out every page that he's inked so I can have like a physical copy to look at full 11 by 17 too. So I can sit here and stare at it forever. So you found a wall of weapons. On the wall of weapons here, there's a He-Man sword, there's a Thundercat sword, there's a ninja sword, there's Thor's hammer, Captain America's shield. There's even a Star Trek phaser right there at the top corner. That was supposed to be Blade's little weapon thing that he throws around in the first Blade movie up here in the top. There's a batarang down there at the bottom. A couple of sais. I swear this little pointy staff weapon was supposed to be something that I can't remember what the hell I got it from, but whatever. But yeah, and our hero chooses the Shatterstar swords. Because of course he would. Yep, Raphael's size. I guess I could have put some nunchucks up there, have the turtle weapons, because you got a katana over there too. Yep, Easter egg opportunity, right? Yeah, a lot of fun. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna be done for the night. Yeah, inked is how you know the real look. Yeah, for sure. That's when it all comes together. But yeah, thanks guys. It was fun as always. Catch y'all later.